gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are so happy to have you all back with us for another episode of this here podcast. We got some good stories. I can already tell. I know I do. And I'm sure you do too, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into those, y'all know how I gotta start the show. Crystal, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. You just saw we got called out for not talking about our week.
Okay. Okay. All right. Am I gonna have to peel the curtain back for people, Crystal? Okay, I won't peel the curtain back. Fine. But y'all just know there is a reason why sometimes you'll get updates and sometimes you won't.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that, we specifically had somebody tell us that they don't want to hear nothing about our lives. We're getting contradicting, reports from the audience, which I want. Mm-hmm. But yeah, since I can't, pull the curtain back, just know that there are reasons why we do things the way.
But we appreciate those of you that really enjoy it.
Yeah, because Crystal the only one that do it. So
I don't know, honestly. So it's like, oh, you don't want to hear about me? Okay. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's also a way to mix it up a little bit. Some of you guys will get in an episode, sometimes you won't. But yeah, my week has been good. Honestly, we just finished our big trip out of state, and it went. I personally think it went better than we probably predicted it would have gone. I think it could have gone a lot worse, but it wasn't bad. I gonna toot my own horn because I know my coworkers will just be cheering me on. But I think I did really well. I was really happy with my performance, and I feel like I kept up pretty well. And I did some things by myself that I didn't really get to do before. Like I kind of had to, because we just were pressed for time or we just didn't have the manpower. So I was really proud when I accomplished those things. I mean, my stuff still had to be looked over and everything like that. And some things had to be tweaked, but for the most part, did it myself. I was really proud.
I know that's right.
But yeah, for the most part, it was great. I wish we had been able to actually explore a little bit more like on our own, but we worked the whole time. And we have another big trip coming up in a couple weeks, and that will be the end of the show for me. And I'll be back here permanently until, whatever my next work is. So our schedule will even out a little bit better towards the end of April as well. I know it's been kind of up and down, but we really appreciate you guys sticking through it and sticking with us, and being understanding, because it's been a scramble week after week, I feel like.
Listen, I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, Crystal, we may have to push pause, bitch, because it's a lot. It's a lot going on, But I will say I'm proud of us for, girl, we ain't missed a week.
No,
we ain't missed a week, and y'all don't know what's going on behind the scenes, to make it all happen. But I'm proud of us. I'm gonna say it.
I think we've been able to find a nice way to kind of manage it a little bit too, by doing the things that we've been doing. And like I said, it's just a couple more weeks of the craziness before, I won't have my time so constrained. Because that's been the hardest for me, is that like things like with the sneak peeks and stuff like that, sometimes I'm only able to get 2 out a week instead of the usual like 3. I have hardly been able to do the little promos, which I really like. But it's just my time is so pressed. I'm driving, I'm coming down up here, and then I'm only spending like a day and a half, and then I'm driving back down, and then it's working all week. So it's just a lot, but we're getting through it. I think we've been managing it pretty well for the most part. Other than a few glitches, of having to, have episodes released on Tuesdays sometimes. I think we've been doing pretty well. And I think once the month of April kind of is over, I think we'll be able to kind of regulate more. But
yeah. I think so far, I was actually thinking about this the other day. And here we go, y'all. we're having those conversations for you. Okay. I was thinking the other day, I have been really pressed for time. It's like pressed for time lately,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really been driving up a lot of anxiety in me because I'm like, it's so much
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I'm doing at one time, and juggling it all. It's kind of like it's starting to get overwhelming,
Right.
which is why I appreciate our schedules,
Yes.
recently and moving forward, with our
Mm-hmm.
pre-show meeting. But I have been having a lot of anxiety when it comes to, I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, okay, I think the lesson for me this year is really going to be like, I can't do it
Right.
all. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I have to, but everything that's happening now is non-negotiable.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's like the put your head down and push
Mm-hmm.
through it mode for
Mm-hmm.
me for the next like 2 months,
Yeah.
honestly, to try to make it all happen. So I'm really low key. I'm just trying to hold myself together because I'm like today,
Mm-hmm.
I would had some stuff I was doing today, and bitch, I was in the middle of it, and I just yelled out. I stopped. I stopped, and I just yelled out loud because I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I was like, "Okay, whew, here we go."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the lesson for me, hopefully, once things are calming down, will be
Mm-hmm.
kind of stepping back and being like, "Girl, it's going to be one thing at a time for a while,"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
But
get you. Yeah, and
yeah,
I just keep reminding myself too, like it's really just a blimp in the year.
right,
This isn't how
right,
it's not gonna how it's gonna be the whole year or
yeah,
always or anything like that. Like you said, we just kind of have to just get through it, and then things will start to level out. I think once my schedule levels out at the end of April, it will help you too because I'll be even more flexible.
mm,
Because right now we really are only pressed for the weekends. Like that's all I have
mm,
for you.
yeah,
So once my schedule frees up too, then it's very much going to be like whenever you're good, just let me know and we'll figure it out
mm.
from there. Um,
And you want to know what I really a goal that I have for our show
mm,
is to find somebody to offload all of the
yeah.
work. This ain't the work, y'all.
Mm-mm. I
This
feel
is the easy
you.
part.
Yeah.
Okay. The work comes before and after.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
And if delegation, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine like a month ago.
Hmm.
She and I were on the phone, and she was talking about delegating stuff and having to learn to offload stuff. And to be transparent, we were having a conversation about her potentially offloading some stuff to me
Hmm.
that that I have experience in and stuff. But I look had to be like, like but I mean, I can't, like, I
Hmm.
literally cannot. I'm not gonna be able to do anything for you, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, um, and I think that's really what the goal for me for this show is, to
Yeah.
really be able to delegate those things, to be like,
Hmm.
listen, here's the things, give them back to me, or take care,
Hmm.
because that would really, I feel like, help us out so much,
I agree
so
with you.
much.
I would really love, and I have other ideas which I'll talk to you offline. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. That's definitely a goal for me too. I would love to be able to find someone who could help out with some of the after the post production, essentially,
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah. Because
So
we have regular, real, everyday lives
hmm.
that we have to maintain outside of the show.
Hmm.
Where I feel like a lot of other podcasts and stuff, that's what they do, or they work
Yeah.
entertainment or something. They have
Hmm.
more time and stuff to give to it. But I
Hmm.
feel like for us, y'all, we regular degular. We gotta, we movers and shakers. We gotta make shit happen
Mm-hmm.
outside this show. And this show is fun for us,
Yeah.
but it's also work.
Yeah.
you know.
In a lot of ways.
But we appreciate y'all being here for us. Thank you for letting me vent a little bit, have my little therapy session, girl. Cause
I know they're like, finally,
girl,
T.
he's
Talking
sharing.
to us.
He's
You
sharing
talking
something.
to us.
Child.
Okay.
Okay, you ready to get in somebody else's business?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely. So this is from Am I the Asshole? And it was deleted, but somebody found it. So sorry.
Yes.
So sorry. So
Sorry.
this basically says, am I the asshole for not helping my husband repair his relationship with our daughter after he excluded her from a guys only trip?
Uh-oh. You trying to get me canceled.
No.
Trying to get me canceled, Crystal.
No.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's see what context is.
Okay. You can read some of the details if you go through my post history. Essentially, my husband has decided he wanted to have a guys only trip this summer with my son, 13 male, and nephew, 12 male. My daughter, 11 female, is a tomboy who is into sports and fishing and extremely close with her brother and dad. And the three of them often spent a lot of time together. My husband and I discussed this, and I insisted my daughter be included, but he mentioned that he really wants this time with his son and nephew without any women present. I eventually gave in on the boys only trip, but warned him that our daughter would be hurt and it was up to him entirely to fix it. He promised me he would. Ever since my husband told her she couldn't go, my daughter's behavior has changed. She no longer hangs out with her brothers playing video games, and she has been extremely distant with my husband. Just this past week during the Super Bowl, while my son and husband were watching the game, my daughter was tucked away in her room. Watching the Super Bowl together has always been a tradition for the three of them to do together. I'm not into sports ball, but this year my daughter didn't join them. I asked her if she was okay, and she said she gave a yeah and continued reading a book. My husband noticed this behavior and tried to cheer her up by telling her he would plan something really cool, just the two of them. But our daughter told him she didn't want to do anything. A couple of days later, my daughter needed to be picked up early from school for a dentist appointment. My husband said he would pick her up, and she texted me asking, "Please, Mom, can you pick me up and bring me?" My daughter also has been getting the school bus in the morning instead of catching a ride with my husband and son, which she typically does. Now my husband is complaining to me about our daughter, saying he's done everything to make it up to her and that I need to step in. I told him she would be hurt by him excluding her from the trip, and it's entirely his fault she's icing him out. He says we should be a team and try to fix this together, but he's the one who caused this hurt, so it shouldn't be on me to fix it. It's starting to affect our relationship now, too. Am I the asshole?
Ay, ay, ay. Okay. This is tough. Okay. How am I going to approach this? So, as someone, this sounds like a family from the South. So I'm going to relate because I feel like this is a Southern thing. I don't, the separation of the sexes or whatever. I understand where the husband is coming from for wanting to have that boys trip, that guy's time, because it's something that I did a lot when I was a kid and in my teenage years, when I was younger with my grandfather and as I got older with my older cousins and stuff, going for hunting trips, crabbing, fishing, all different types of stuff. And my sister actually, anytime that the women got together in the family to go like shopping or anything or go out or something, my sister always got to go. She was the youngest and the only girl, out of a family full of boys. I think we have like 3 female cousins. Oh, no. Oh, girl. We have more. Sorry. If the family see this, they're going to be like, oh!
Exit.
Some of you girls are, you're teetering on the edge. But immediately, right? And she always got to go on those trips. We never did. We had to stay with my grandfather. He owned a mechanic shop. So we would be at the shop fiddling around, playing whatever, helping him, lift radiators or whatever. So it's something actually that I can relate to,
Mhm.
and I I don't see any problem with it at that age, especially when you want to build those ties. Because the relationship between a dad and his son and a dad and his daughter is different. I don't care what y'all say. I understand in these days sex is like equal, whatever, whatever. And I believe in that personally, and that's how I handle my situation.
Mhm.
But I know the reality of it is that those relationships are different.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to curate them differently. There's some things you're going to teach your son that you're not going to teach your daughter because it's not relevant. And I feel like that private time is for them to foster those type of things. I remember having conversations with my grandfather, you know, on a, man to boy level of being like, listen, these are things you're going through. These are the way you're feeling, but here's the context for that. All different type of stuff that he wouldn't have had with my sister because it wouldn't have been relevant. I understand the daughter is hurt, but I think there really needs to be multiple conversations to try to get her to understand that, to give her like, listen, you don't have the life experience to know why this is happening. And I understand that you want to be a part of this thing, and you can be a part of another trip that we have. But for this specific trip, I just want I just have things that I want to say to your brother and your cousin that just aren't really relevant for you at this time. And we're going to have that time where, your brother and your cousin aren't going to be invited because there's things I want to say to you that's not relevant. And I want to wrap that in an experience so it sticks with you. So I think it's fair kind of that the wife is like, listen, you made the bed, so you need to fix it. But at the same time, it's like, why are you throwing your husband under, like, you mad too? Shit.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you throwing your husband under the bus on this? He's made steps. He's offered, because that's what I was gonna say, to begin with, offer her a trip herself. But since she don't want it, listen, I've been trying to talk to her, I've been trying to, do things with her. She don't want to do it with me. Help me. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be a partnership. I understand that you two don't like the fact that I'm taking our son and our nephew on this trip without her, but there's nothing wrong with me wanting to spend time with them separate from her in this for this time. Just this time. This isn't a regular thing. This isn't a yearly trip that we go on where I'm excluding her. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's where I really do not think he's an asshole for wanting to take that trip. Um, and I wouldn't necessarily say the wife is an asshole for leaving it up to him to fix, but it's not. I don't think it's fair for you to also punish him on top of him going through that with his daughter. Like,
Mhm.
you've expressed that you don't like it. Okay, let's move forward. Like, let's try to get a solution. Otherwise, our relationship is going to continue to deteriorate. And now, you know, there's nothing I can do, it seems, to fix a relationship with our daughter. So you're just going to sit by and watch that deteriorate. So now the whole family dynamic is deteriorating. And yeah, okay, maybe you can look at me and be like, well, this is your fault because you started all of this. But it's like, girl, at this point, you're to blame also. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? There's, I'm getting no help here
Mhm.
to try to fix this thing. And you're seeing that if he wasn't trying, that would be one thing. But
Mhm.
he's actually trying and getting nowhere. And you're just leaving him for dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's the only way I can see, like, all right, grow up, girl. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's a little bit of asshole move, but I see where it's coming from.
Right. Um, I I'm with you on some of your points. I think this was handled the wrong way. I think if it was coming from a point of uh there's some things that I need to talk to the boys about that aren't relevant to you, maybe if they had as parents tag team, like me and the boys are going somewhere and you and your mom are going somewhere, because they're at that age where there are probably some things they should be having talks about with their parents that are only relevant to, maybe that would have helped lessen the blow because she's also leaving somewhere with her mom too. um I think the problem with this, though, is that she is not a girl who is disinterested in all the things they're about to be doing. She's someone who is active. These are things that she actively likes to do as well and does with them. And so for her at 11, all she's hearing is, we're going to go do all these things that we like. You're just not invited this time. And it's not there after that, like nothing else you say is going to make a girl feel like anything other than I'm being excluded because I'm a girl, essentially.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really hard thing to try to fix, because that's essentially what you were saying to her. You didn't say, this is a boys trip because there's some things I need to know. You just said, this is a boys trip. Girls not allowed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a big screw up when it comes to the handling of this situation, because at the end of the day, she's not a girly girl. You said you're going to go hunting and fishing and doing all this stuff. Those are the things that she likes to do as well. It'd be one thing if she's someone who is a girly girl who only likes, I don't know, shopping and, ballet. She doesn't like sports. She doesn't like fishing. She thinks, hunting is gross. Then yeah, she probably would have been able to handle the rejection of not coming along better, because, well, those aren't things I'm interested in anyways. But you're
But
literally going.
Do you think they should acquiesce to that? Like,
What do you mean?
okay, like, do you think he should forego wanting to have that trip just be for him and his son and his nephew, just because she likes those things? Because because we have to think, everybody here is a human being, right? And this is everybody's first experience in this, and I understand looking at it from a child's point of view is one thing, and there are considerations that need to be made there, but just because she's a tomboy and she wants to go don't mean that she automatically get to go. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
I could see if it was like a yearly thing and she's left out every single time.
Right.
But it's like, I want to take one trip to just have the boys together, to have this experience, to have this bonding. And maybe it's girls don't have an equivalent to that. I don't know if young women have that type of thing with their mom that they kind of do, but I feel like it's a thing a lot of boys do, at least from my experience, to have those times with the men in their families and stuff like that, where you do kind of, it's like almost like a ritualistic thing,
right?
And the fact that the dad wants to set aside some time, because then we bleed into, we have to look at it from the son's point of view. What if he wants to have that time with the boy? He don't necessarily want his sister there.
Yeah.
Like, are we supposed to, forget his feelings? He's a boy. Let's let her have this experience as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that we aren't considering to consider her, which I understand, but I don't feel like she should be allowed to go just because she enjoys those things,
Yeah, I get you. I think I don't really think there's a win in the situation. I think it's just what you're willing to risk. I mean, she's obviously expressed that this is something that's going to hurt her deeply, and I don't think maybe he just didn't explain as well as he could.
No.
I don't know. I just know that at the end of the day, I'm not going to say you're an asshole for doing this one way or the other. And I don't think the wife is the asshole either, because she did tell you, she told you straight up, this is going to hurt your daughter and you're going to be the one who's going to have to fix it. And Tyler, and you were like, great, because there was a part of you that didn't believe it would hurt as much as it did. And you just thought you were going to be able to, she was going to get over it. And she's not getting over it. And for some people, that's that happens. These are the types of decision that cause that rift. I understand you want to have this time for your son, and maybe you and your son want to have that, and maybe you didn't explain it well enough. I don't know. That's just something you have to decide. Do we need to do this now? Can this wait? Or, she'll get over it. I don't know how to navigate that. I just know that there, there are consequences to that, to trying to separate those bonds in some ways, I guess. Some people are able to do it more naturally. Some people, it doesn't really affect it one way or another. And some people, you're so closely doing everything together that when it comes time to not doing something together, your younger people, they're not going to understand why. 11 is still a pretty young age to fully understand. Sometimes men want to go and be with men and women want to go and be with women. For her, she's just saying, oh, daddy and my brother and nephew and cousin or whatever don't want to be with me. They want to do these things, but not with me. So I'm excluded.
Yeah. And I think the only thing that's giving me a sticking point here is that, because she said in the letter that he tried to talk to her and stuff. I don't know what he said to her,
right?
But he tried to talk to her and she wasn't really up for it. Because the only other solution would be to cancel the trip, but that's not fair to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I feel, it just sucks because I feel for her. I really do. And I understand where she's coming from. I understand that feeling of like, you don't belong, you're not part of it, whatever. But I also feel for the dad and for one, because it's totally fair that you want to have that time. Like do you think it's fair that he wants to have a trip like that?
I mean, I guess I don't see a problem with it if it's handled in the right way, but somehow this is not being handled in the right way. And I don't know how that needs to be handled. She's hurt. That's what I meant. Because at the end of the day, she's hurt. Like she's so hurt that she no longer wants to participate in any of the things that you guys are doing. And I'm not saying that you need to cater to her, but you also have to understand that if you decide to go through with it, if you decide to go on this trip, whatever relationship you guys had might never recover.
And that's where I was trying to get.
I don't know how else to say it. You think
he should cancel the trip?
I'm not saying he should. That's his decision. But
I'm saying,
the answer.
In order for him to fix it, it seems like that's the only solution is for him to cancel
we
it.
also don't know how he explained it to her. Maybe he needs to explain it better.
Yeah.
And maybe him and the wife need to talk so that they're doing it with each other too. I'm with you. I'm not, but it's like, I also understand why the wife is like, I told you, and you were so confident that this was not going to be a thing. You fix it. I told you have to fix it. I can see where that rift will be too. So it's just, everyone has consequences and everyone has to figure out what they're,
that's where I'm at. Everybody sucks
in the situation.
As the wife, yes, you told him, but now you're being petty. Like you're putting your family on the chopping block behind being petty. Yes, you told him, and maybe he's not going to acknowledge the fact that you were right. However, isn't the family unit more important than being right? Like
I don't know. I don't know in their situation.
I'm just so lost here because I just can't understand how we got to this point.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys, I know that people in this thread had very strong opinions. A lot of them, I think, were female. And so they had very strong opinions and I understood every single one of them. But for you guys out there, I would love to know, how do you fall on this situation? What would be your solution? If you have any, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Moving on. Everybody sucks. That's our verdict.
Girl, I navigated that one really well. I was like, as soon as I heard the title, I was like, oh, she's trying to get me canceled. Oh, she's trying to, because I knew immediately how I was going to land, Oh my God. Okay. So I have one from the subreddit r/am I the asshole, and it is entitled, Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law to get out of my daughter's baby shower? Ooh, wait. Strap in, Crystal. I, 47-year-old female, have a daughter at 25. She is currently 26 weeks pregnant with her second child, a girl. Her first child, Philip, was stillborn 2 years ago at 38 weeks, a little boy. When she lost him, she asked us to take apart the nursery before she got home and get rid of the baby equipment. She saved his baby book, his ultrasound, photos, the outfit that she planned to bring him home in, along with a lock of his hair and a memory box. She'd had a baby shower for Philip when she was pregnant, but her grief around his death was so strong that she couldn't handle having the nursery and baby things. We offered to return the baby shower gifts to the givers. Most kindly refused and asked us to donate the items, except my husband's sister, Rachel, 43. She made a huge deal out of my daughter being hysterical and constantly loudly talking about how ridiculous it was to take apart the nursery. We kept her away from my daughter and only allowed her to return to family functions when she promised to stop bringing it up. We recently had a baby shower for my daughter's new baby girl. Rachel, along with the rest of my husband's family relatives, were invited. She kept making quiet remarks to everyone that we were tacky for having a baby shower for a second child, but since she didn't get near my daughter, I ignored it. When my daughter began opening gifts, it hit the fan. She loudly said, "If you hadn't torn Philip's nursery apart and gotten rid of everything, you wouldn't be here begging for presents for this baby." My daughter froze and just stared off into space. Tears started running down her face. I I just said, "Rachel, please leave." She refused and started arguing with me. I took her present out of the pile, walked to the door, and threw it out. I yelled, "Get out now." And my husband came into the room, asked what happened. His mom told him, and he physically picked up his sister and put her down outside the door. Now the family is divided over whether I should have yelled at her to get out and thrown out her present. Um, am I the asshole? And here's a quick little update that's relevant to the story. She said that they're having a family meeting without Rachel while her daughter and her partner are away at a hot spring this weekend. And she's going to give an update, which she has given. And I'm going to share that update on the other side of our middle section today. But so far in this story, Crystal, is she the asshole?
No. I think she did a little. I don't think she did enough. When I say I would have grabbed her by that hair and dragged her out of that house, ma'am, did you know? Did you? Maybe at your age, I don't know how many kids you ever had, but did you know that people have more than one baby shower? In fact, they generally have a baby shower for every kid they have because years have gone by in between birth, mostly. Some people, men, get off of them, like give them a break for a second.
I'm saying.
God. But for the most part, there's usually a couple years in between. Things have changed, things have updated, the genders have switched, and they want to gear towards that. I don't know, but there's reasons for it. There's always something you want to celebrate a new family member by bringing a gift. You didn't have to even buy a gift. Why'd you buy another gift if you felt so strongly? You're coming to this baby shower, you're buying a gift, but you think it's ridiculous. Why'd you even do it? What's the point? But to throw such, I can't even imagine a hard time in this woman's face while she's trying to celebrate this new life, which is probably already anxiety inducing for her anyways, because she's reached this point before and she thought everything was good and she got to the end and it didn't happen for her. So for her, she's going to feel that anxiety all the way up until she brings this baby home because she knows at any moment it could be the last. And so for you to dump even more trauma on her like that's, she didn't do enough. And for anyone who's divided, they can kick rocks too, because if you are not looking at this woman going, she is 100% wrong for this, you don't need to be in my life. You don't need to be in this child's life. There is no family meeting. Like we just don't need to associate with each other. And I am so serious on that. When I say that I can cut you out so quick, so quick.
What they said on Full House, cut it
out.
out.
Because as long as my mom, my dad, my brother, and all that stuff, the rest of y'all, I love you. But if it's like that, it's like
Take it
that.
or leave it.
Like, take it or leave
Take
it.
it or
I'm
leave it.
sorry.
Yeah, the first time I read this story, I audibly gasped, bitch. When they got to that baby shower part, I was like, I could not believe it. I could not believe. I don't understand where that where is this coming from? Bitch,
Where's
am
the
I
anger?
a villain because I gave birth to a stillborn? Like,
right.
And what is this? Like you mentioned it. What is this? You can only have one baby shower business. I've heard this actually growing up, that you're only supposed to have one baby shower. I could see, maybe I could see it for back in the day, because people had their children a lot closer together. You know, they reused stuff because shit was expensive. But in this economy, it literally takes a village. Kids are expensive. Okay, bitch, I got one of them. One of them. I wish I could pull my pockets inside out and show y'all. Kids are expensive. Okay, and it's never the shit that you would expect. It's always something going on. Okay, something you need, something you got to get. And especially because they donated everything from the first child. She don't have anything.
No.
So, you know, not saying that it's kind of her do-over, but you know, she really didn't get to have the full experience the first time around. So the least y'all can do, especially, you know, this is the happiest time of her life, but also probably the most traumatic. She's been here before, and she knows how it ended. You know,
and you know, things, even if everything had gone how she wanted it to the first time around, things get ruined, things break, things don't last. And you know, you got to think about spacing wise, like, you know, people donate and get rid of things just because they need that extra space, and now here they are about to have another child, now they need that stuff again, they didn't realize it. Like, you don't know what's going on in your life when things are going to happen, so you just kind of go with the flow of things. And who knows, after she had that, after, you know, the stillborn and everything like that, who knows if she thought she was going to have another kid, if she wanted to even go through that experience. People have to heal first. And for her, the beginning of that was, I can't see any of this stuff. Please just get rid of it. You know? But to villainize her the way you are is weird and crazy. It's got to be, to me, it's just got to be something else. I don't know if she's someone who likes attention and she's upset that once again attention isn't on her. I don't know, but it's super weird for you to react this way to a family member after they've gone through a loss. This is like Miss Casey Anthony and she's having a baby shower right now, and you're like, right, like, come on now, because it would have been tomatoes on the back. Like, let's honestly, have y'all seen her on TikTok? You know what? I seen a little. Now I don't have the TikTok, so I haven't seen it. But I seen one little video where she was talking about. Was she talking about integrating back into society, or I don't understand what it was about. Something about she has experience in the legal field, type thing. Yeah, and I guess she's trying to be like an advocate or something like that for. I don't know. Oh, girl, but I was about to get sued. It did not go how she was hoping, I guess. I don't even know if she was hoping it would go well. I don't know what she was expecting. So what was she trying to be some type of consultant for people? I don't know. I didn't watch the actual video. I just saw the clips, and then it was usually a stitch. So people were coming in going, girl, we know what you did to that baby. I have so many horrible jokes that I cannot tell. They are just scrolling like a Rolodex in my brain. I can't tell them though. And that is why we are going to take our break now. Okay. Well, before we take our break, I did want to say shout out to my OG. He gave me some wine today.
I haven't had wine in quite a while. Because when you get to a certain age, I don't know if it's just me, but wine sometimes it be she don't be sitting right with my spirit. So I haven't had wine in a good long time.
Mm-hmm.
But this wine is delicious, so I wanted to give a shout out to my OG. You know who he is. Okay.
Hey. Hey.
You ready to take a break, girl?
Yes.
All right. We'll see y'all after these messages. Ladies and gentlemen, T here. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Listen, we need you to do us a solid. We need you to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. Share what you love about this here podcast and help spread the word about this hidden gem. If you have any stories that you'd like to share with us or anything that you would like for us to share on the show, please do so by sending it to our email, which is in the description for you below, or in any of our DMs on our various social media platforms. Now, let's get back to the show. And we're back. Crystal, I heard you have something for me, and I am terrified.
Don't be terrified. I think this is actually going to be pretty fun. I have a new segment for us. I don't have any fancy name for it. I'm just going to call it what it is. But first, I want to give a shout out to my new friend Garrett, because he's the one who put me onto this and told me that he thought that this would be a good thing to do for our show. So thank you so much, Garrett. I really appreciate it.
Shout out, Garrett.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll dedicate this one to him because this is the first time we're doing it. So I didn't even know the subreddit exists, but it does. And so we're going to play a little game called Drunk or Kid. Basically, I'm going to read. I'm going to read a scenario, sentence. It's very pretty short, couple sentences, something that's happened, a story. And you're going to have to tell me, do you think this person was a kid when this happened, or were they just drunk?
Okay.
Okay. So, first one. Was at a festival, had to poop, no bathroom close, went inside a sheltered part of a play structure in a park that was built on a sandbox as opposed to grass or that black rubber stuff. Pooped in the sand, buried it like a cat, and went back to the festivities. Were they drunk? Or were they a kid?
You said they were at a festival, girl? That's a drunk person.
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. They were a kid, probably 7 or 8, Canada Day festivities in their small town.
Get the fuck out of here.
Does that make it better, though?
Kid at first, but I was like, hell no.
You'd rather have them have been drunk?
Low key, yes, because they had to get in. Like, what age was this child?
7 or 8. That's what they said. Probably 7 or 8.
You too goddamn old to be pooping in the sand, Lord. If I saw a 7 or 8-year-old squatting down in the goddamn sand, this is on the playground.
They said it was a sheltered part of a play structure.
A play structure.
Built on a sandbox.
Police, help, come get them. This is a menace to society. Okay, if you're pooping in sand at 7, 8 years old, who knows what I'm about to save your parents' lives because you're going to kill them in their sleep. Okay, I don't. Hell no. I could see it if it was a drunk person, because we've all, well, those of us who drank have been in some vicarious. Yeah, I remember one time I was at the club. Yeah, I've been in some situations. Okay, so I can see it. But anyway.
Okay, made multiple phone calls to American hotels pretending to be an upset customer.
To American hotels?
Yeah, a lot of these sound like they're like from the UK or something like that.
Okay. Pretending that they were upset customers. This is actually something that I used to do. Me and a group of friends of mine, we used to do the chain 3-way calls. Yeah. And we would call different 7-Elevens and hotels. And we would call the 7-Elevens and pretend that we opened up a bag of chips and found a roach inside. And then we would call hotels and make up all kinds of stories to get them to come to the room. And sometimes we would guess wrong how many floors they have. We'd be like, we're in room 408. And they'd be like, we only have 3 floors. Click. Damn. Damn. Colin, I'm gonna say this is. Ah, shit. I don't know because it sounds like it could be a drunk person because you have to dial the country number.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? No, I'm gonna say it's a it's an adult. It's a drunk person.
So this was a kid, and they said,
God
"Mom,
damn it!" I was gonna say it was
Mom
kid
and
because they
Dad
didn't
were not
have.
happy."
God, I was gonna. They don't have context for how much this is gonna cost. God damn it! I should have went with my gut.
Okay. Busting for the loo on the bus home, walking home, I realized that I wasn't going to make it. My bladder started failing, and I ended up hiding in the park and letting out the rest before I soiled myself further.
You said busing or what? What did
I think they were meant to say bursting for the loo, the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
But they said
I thought they was on the bus and something happened.
Well, they were on the bus home.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
they were okay. And then they went into the park.
Yeah, it says
And
bursting for the loo on the bus,
themselves.
and then walking home, I realized I wasn't going to make it. My bladder started failing, and I ended up hiding in the park and letting out the rest before I soiled myself further.
Oh, before they sold it. Okay. It was on the bus. And then okay, was this a number 2 or
I don't know.
because they said soiled, and I don't think P counts as soiling. It gives context because you know I can see
I don't know how to tell. That's what they wrote. I only have what they wrote.
drunk. No, because he's supposed to be drunk people or children, and they was on the bus. This could be a drunk person.
You gonna be a drunk person? You are right. They were
Okay.
drunk, had 2 or 3 cocktails, thought they were being smart by following up with an entire bottle of Powerade. The public bathroom at the train station by the bus was shut for cleaning, so I thought I could hold it until I got home. Nope. Needless to say, I never did that again.
Okay, yeah, they had to pee then. If it was Powerade, them electrolytes shot through them like a rocket. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Had to be driven home completely naked by my friend's parents.
That is a child.
As a child? Yes, they were a kid who had eaten way too much while staying over at their friend's house for a little while after school and had to throw up on their clothes. Since they had no backup clothes, they had to be driven home naked and quickly scrambled in the house's laundry room.
The only reason I knew that was a child is because I've been in a similar situation, you know, where an article of clothing just has to go and you just got to go home how you are. We're going to scramble you in the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, this is the last one. Got the bright idea to tie up a nearby Chucky doll to scare off potential intruders with my big sister. Got so scared we both refused to enter the room with Chucky for the rest of the night.
Now that sounds real childish. It sounds real childish. But it would be so funny if it was an adult. If they tied, but it's like you tied it up with your sister. Why would you need help? And why would you be drunk in the house with your sister? That ain't got no fun. But got scared. Let's go with the child.
Okay. This is a bit of a tricky one. I guess it depends on what you consider child. I myself would not consider this a child. They said I was high, but according to moderator's comment, it counts. I was 19 years old with my 21-year-old sister, and I had the doll since I was 16. We figured if the intruders were scared of us, they'd run away, so we tied Chucky up on the bathroom shower rod. We didn't pee for the rest of the night.
Hell no. That was not fair. High is different than drunk. Cause you're not gonna be scared of a Chucky doll when you drunk. That's dumb. But I can see it if you high. High, you may have forgotten that you hung that little nigga up, that little doll up, and go in there and be like, "Oh, girl, how'd it get?" Like I can see y'all cheated. I don't like that. Moderators, are they supposed to be drunk or not?
They said it counts.
It's getting wishy washy around here in that subreddit. Let's tighten the reins. So, that was fun.
I told you it was going to be fun.
Yeah. Shout out to Gary.
Yes.
That was
for you guys. Let us know what your initial thoughts were, what you were guessing, if you were right or not. I would love to hear your thoughts on this new little segment, but we'll definitely be bringing it back.
Yes. I'm so disgusted by that little baby that doo-doo in the sand. Like, imagine, Crystal, a child playing in the sand and they just dig up a shovel full of doo-doo.
Mm.
I am so upset. All right. Well, thank you for that,
You're
Crystal,
gonna
and
take the
thank you to
little one
Garrett.
to the park next time, and you're gonna be like, actually, I've heard
And
stories.
because I'm already one, like I don't like the sand too much because it get everywhere and we got to take shoes off, socks off, getting it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, now I'm even more sand averse. Like, what are people dogs is going in there and doodling and stuff? Ugh, I'm disgusted. Anyway, I shouldn't be this bothered. So in case I know uh the American what do you call it? Attention span. Shit, here I go. The American attention span is as short as a squirrel's. So, in
Mm-hmm.
case you all do not remember, I am going to give you an update that I promised you from our story that was about the sister-in-law who kicked out her who the sister-in-law who got kicked out of her niece's baby shower.
I'm excited for
And we
this.
ended the story. She was wondering if OP was wondering if they were the asshole for throwing her sister-in-law out, and they were going to have a family meeting. So, in the meantime, between time, we got an update. So let's see how the meeting went. She said the meeting went well. My husband and I gave a brief summary of what happened, backed up by witnesses. The relatives that couldn't make the shower are now aware of what happened. The family consensus is that Rachel is unequivocally to blame and she should not be allowed to be around my daughter or their kids. Other people in the family brought up issues they've had with her in the past along similar lines, especially involving pregnancy and kids. Rachel will no longer be included in large family gatherings. Those who want to continue a relationship with her would do so on their own and have been informed that advocating for Rachel to be forgiven and included or feeding her information about me, my husband, or my kids and grandchildren will result in us going no contact with them as well. My mother in law has apologized profusely for making the remarks about being sad that she won't have both of her children under her roof for holidays anymore. We have accepted her apology because her feelings are valid and this is sad for her. And she thanks everyone for their support and that she'll give an update when her granddaughter is born. So,
I have no
yeah.
notes. Everything that needed to happen happened. I'm glad that it seems those who were sticking up for her must not have had the full context of the story. So, all right. Whatever. Maybe y'all should have
Yeah.
just trusted us at our word when you saw us throwing her ass out. But whatever. All right, we get it.
Right. And I appreciate the use of the word unequivocally.
Yeah.
That's a good word. Unequivocally.
So shout out to the family for understanding and for them for also being understanding that not everybody is just going to cut this woman out for just saying, hey, do you want to have a relationship with her? That will be on your own time, but leave us out of it. Respect that.
Yeah.
This is not something we're just going to be forgiving. I appreciate that.
And this lady, I really want to know what her sign is because she has to be like a Libra or she has something where, because she is seeing like all sides of this and being like, you know what, I can understand it. Or maybe she's a therapist because she's like, I see that. I acknowledge that. I understand that. However, if you're going to, then you're not going to have access to us. They are speaking my language. That's the kind of shit I like.
I like that.
If you
too.
ain't finna act accordingly,
yeah,
you can get gone.
You can get gone.
In the nicest way.
In the nicest way. That's right. I like the way the letter was written.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you ready for our last letter? All right. This one comes from the subreddit r/am I the asshole, and it is entitled "Am I the asshole for not giving my coworker a ride after he didn't spot me $1 at the vending machine?"
Ooh.
Yeah. So, OP says, I usually give my coworker a ride on the way back from work, usually driving about 5 miles out of my way per day to drop him off at his place because he doesn't have a car. I've been doing that for the past 2 years and haven't asked for anything, and he has never offered. Yesterday, I was at the vending machine and wanted a soda. I was short $1 and had left my wallet in the car. I would usually go to get my wallet, but it takes forever to wait for elevators at my workplace. So I asked if he could spot me $1 for the soda. He straight up refused and said, "Just use your own money, man. I don't really give money to friends or coworkers. Sorry." I was taken aback by that comment because I've probably spent around $1,500 in gas over the past 2 years for this guy, and he can't even spot me $1 just this once. I got pretty upset at that. And once it hit 5 o'clock, I told him I'm not giving him free rides anymore. He seemed upset and said that I was petty. So am I the asshole?
No, you're not the asshole. You are petty and it's justified. Like, what do you just? I would have used this line back on him, be like, "So sorry. I don't give free rides to just friends or coworkers." You want to talk about petty?
You the petty queen.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna make it petty. I'm gonna make it real petty. You want to tell me you're not gonna spot me $1? I'm gonna pay you back. It's just downstairs. When I take you home tonight, I'll give you the $1 back that's in my wallet in my car. You can't do that.
That's a good point.
It'd be
you
one
gotta get
thing,
in my car anyway.
Right? You got to get in my car anyways. My wallet's gonna be there, and you sound like the person who's gonna be like, "Oh, look at that wallet. Remember that $1 from 3 hours ago?"
Right.
You sound like that person, and I would be like, "Yeah, here you go." But like, yeah, the only way I could maybe, I mean, still $1 is like, really, but at the same time, I don't carry cash really, so I could understand maybe something like that. Though the fact that he was just straight like, I don't give money to friends or coworkers or anything like that. You're not the asshole in my opinion. No,
not at all.
I appreciate the pettiness, and it could have been a step further, but it's okay.
Can you imagine spending approximately $750 a year in gas to take somebody to and from work and not being reimbursed?
Right.
That was your first mistake. Okay. There is no. I remember somebody that we used to work with, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
I used to give a ride from time to time,
mm-hmm.
and I too was never repaid for it, and it was out of my way. I had to go off and back around and flip back around to get to go home, and I had to drive 45, 50 minutes to get home anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So this turned my drive into an hour. I too, but you know what? Those type of things, I feel like if you're going to do those type of things, you really got to do them out of the kindness of your heart.
Yeah.
You know, really don't expect anything back. Which is why him bringing up that money is like, girl, all right, well, either you were do it or you wasn't. You know.
I was about to say, usually when I offer to give someone a ride home, I do it with the expectation of them not paying for gas or anything like that. Yeah. And if I recurrently say, no, don't worry, I'll just take you, I do it with the expectation of, don't worry about it. Like, I got you. I'm gonna be going one way or the other, or I have no problem going out of my way to do this. Like, it's fine. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I would hope that in my time of need, you would also in some way reciprocate, I guess.
Yeah.
Even if it's just $1 at the vending machine.
But it's crazy that you would accept free rides for 2 years.
Right.
That, like, I could see if I was giving you something for a week. Okay, I could eat a week.
Mm-hmm.
But when it start turning into weeks and months, a piece of that check you have to sign that bitch over to me or something.
It would just depend. Like, if you're really just a coworker, not someone I really chill with, yeah, I'm with you. But if you're like my best friend, I wouldn't think anything of it. If anything, it would just be a routine of our life. Like, yeah, we're going to work together. So, but I don't know. The way he's talking, it doesn't sound like this is a best friend. It does sound like it's more like just a coworker.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. It was
but you asked a friend
mm-hmm.
when you want to give if you know your friend is providing you a way to work, wouldn't you ask the friend want to provide
something?
You know what I'm saying?
Even if it's
giving me rides and stuff when we've been together and stuff, and I throw you some dollars.
I was about to say, even if it's not gas money, even if it's us going out to lunch and you're like, oh no, I got it. I got lunch today.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be linear. Just every once in a while, if you want to be like, hey, I got you. You're good. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I need some type of, me personally,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it, and I'm finna do it out of kindness in my heart. But I'm gonna need to see some appreciation of something,
yeah.
because now it's we leaning into the entitlement territory where you're expecting me to do this for you, and it's like, you have to remember that I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it do need to be like, bitch, even if it's Valentine's Day and you get in the car with a bouquet of flowers, thank you, homie. I really appreciate that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna give these to my wife when I get home and tell her they from me. You just saved me a couple dollars. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just something as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sensational. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for a wonderful episode, Crystal. These stories today, bitch, I had a time with them. I hope y'all had a time too. I have a feeling they finna eat these stories up.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they finna eat these up. Well, thank you again, Crystal, and thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. Make sure that you also leave us a written review. I'm a little mad with y'all because I've been checking the Apple. I'm not seeing y'all writing no reviews. I see y'all writing comments on YouTube, but I'm not seeing y'all writing these reviews, and I would really appreciate it if y'all went over there for me, please. Go over there and do that for me. That's all I ask. Okay. Shit. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube community. We love y'all over there. Y'all are always in the comment section letting us know what y'all love. And I love that for y'all. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story with us, anything you saw on the internet that piques your interest, shout out to the young lady on Instagram who sent us some videos. I said that I wasn't going to mention you because low key, I'm not going to say why, but Crystal knows why. I'm not going to say why, but watch it, okay? But that was cute. That was cute. The essence, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I agreed with a lot of what was said in those videos. However, watch it with that twin shit. But you can do so by sharing that in our DMs as well. We really do appreciate it, girl. I'm just playing. Don't get me. And if you have anything else, you can also share that to our email, teandcrystal@gmail.com. That's teaandcrystal@gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram. If y'all don't do nothing else, go over to the Instagram. Crystal works hard to keep that Instagram alive, okay? And that is at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
No, definitely hit those comments in the YouTube area. I am so excited to see what you guys have to say about these stories and definitely about our new little segment. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.